Right, Money Day, all doing well. We're bringing you another market outlook on this very hot Sunday. And before we get into it, of course, if you'd like to get started on your trading journey with us, please head over to our website at capital.co.uk and make an inquiry in regards to contacting us so we can aid you in your journey in the beginning of how to understand the charts and technical analysis. Okay. But before we get into the charts as well, we're going to go check the economic calendar for what events we have in regards of news. It is very busy. We are in the middle of August. So to start off Monday, we are starting off with the GDP for the Japanese yen, okay, and then we also have some retail sales coming from China as well as the unemployment rate from China also. Now, this is all going to take place early hours of the morning, of course, but for those that do trade yen pairs, definitely be on the lookout for that. Going into the actual morning as well, there's nothing really standing out for the London and New York session on the Monday. But then on Tuesday, we got meeting minutes coming out of the RBA, so the Australian Central Bank. And then going into Tuesday morning London session, we have the unemployment rate and employment change for the Great British Pound. So definitely interested in that. We could definitely see some volatility with that move as well to start the week off properly. And then later on, we also have CPI and inflation for the CAD. So for those that are interested in CAD pairs, for sure, definitely tune into that because inflation, if you don't understand it right now, is one of the biggest agendas in regards to the central banks around the world. Okay, they're trying to curb inflation. So these reports are very, very important to see if what we're seeing from an inflation rate perspective is dying down, and the procedures that they're going through in order to take it down, i.e., raising interest rates and stuff like that. We want to see the measurement actually taking effect. So these inflation rates right now and data regarding inflation is very important for those that was tuning in last week to see what the dollar done as well. You can see the result of the back of that result. So going into Wednesday, interest rate for the New Zealand dollar, and then we have inflation rate data again for the Great British Pound 1 hour before the London Open. So back-to-back days, we should be seeing and focusing on some pound pairs just to see what we can kind of aid in regards to what's happening. Later on in the day, in the morning, sorry, we got employment change from the euro, GDP from the euro, and we also have retail sales coming out of the US as well as the FOMC minutes in the evening of the Wednesday. Okay, so Thursday unemployment data again for the Australian dollar. So for those that trade the Aussie pairs, look out for that. CPI, okay, very important for the euro. CPI for the euro is more inflation data as well for the euro. So definitely tune into that for those that trade euro pairs. We got jobless claims from the US, as well as a speech from some of the Fed members. Going into Friday, we got consumer confidence for the pound. We have inflation rate data for the yen, retail sales for the pound, and retail sales for the CAD. So there's a lot of high impact data this week, which should be good for us. It should yield a great opportunity just to see what we can actually get from a fundamental perspective. And now it's about pairing it with the actual technical analysis and seeing what we can see. So I'm going to start with the indices and see what US30 is on. We definitely saw a big push from yesterday, from last week in regards to the indices. Still rising. We still haven't seen the overall trend kind of continue. We are still pushing up. So areas next for me, we had this area marked and we kind of pushed out and then we pulled back. We was trying to see if we could formulate and see a short from there. But now that we're going into this, we can kind of conclude that the next targets are on the daily time frame would be this area here. We have a big imbalance above as well, and this is kind of the move that set us off with the lower lows and stuff like that. So coming back here and returning to this swing point here is very interesting. It's definitely going to be a sensitive area to see what we can do after this area is taken out. Now, what we want to see is if we can actually get a setup formulate so that we could actually get the buy up to that area. So because it is like over 300 to 400 points away. If we could get some type of retracement going into the start of the session, i.e. Monday, we should be able to formulate something. So as you can see from the session on Friday after the open, we kind of dipped below and then we went on a rally to the upside. So Since then, we haven't really seen a retracement. If we were to get someone from some type of retracement from a price swing perspective, you know, we should be looking to take it up to those daily levels, I believe. So we've got a similar picture as well with the S&P. If you look at it here, we're kind of a bit closer, but for me, that's kind of the area that stands out for us actually wanting to go higher. So if you can correlate that, the Nasdaq equal highs are a bit closer. The Nasdaq's been moving a bit more freely in that regard. So it's probably likely to take it out on the open. But for me, looking at the S&P and US 30, we do have a bit more ground to actually push upwards. So where we go into the new week, we should definitely be thinking about getting to those areas and then seeing if price is looking like a reversal forming or consolidation in regards to something looking like distribution forming in those areas, and then react accordingly. So I'm next going to go over to the dollar. Now, looking at the dollar, what I can kind of conclude here is where we had the news last week. It was positive, by the way, but the dollar has pushed down with the positive news of what the inflation data was saying. Inflation was actually better than expected, where they've shaved we shaved it down 0.6%. So it's actually should be seen as positive, but we saw pushes down on the dollar. So for me personally, going into this week, I actually want to see where we had these pushes down here. We took out this low. There's a slight imbalance here. We kind of played into there and pushed up. Now, whether or not we're able to come into this area, which I think is the main area where we could potentially go long from, because even though that we pushed down past these lows, if we go over to the smaller time frame, for me there is a double bottom here, which kind of didn't get taken out. So whether or not we're just retracing on the 4 hour to kind of go back to then come back down into that area, that is something that I'm anticipating as well. But we did take out a previous low on the 4 hour before actually, you know, giving us this move down and pushing up. So likely to just watch for the first day with the dollar to see what is actually, if we're gonna get the real direction from the swing that we've already had and we've already made, or if we want to come down lower and dive down and take out this area of liquidity and play into that daily level and then become a long. That's kind of what I've got for the dollar. I do think with the inflation data being a positive, we should see prices rise for the dollar. So it's just about whether or not we want to be pushing down lower first to start the week, or we want to kind of continue from the swing that we're at. So how that matches up with GU, of course, we saw a massive push on that inflation data coming from the US, and this was the price swing. Okay, so we now come back to this area here where on the 5-minute chart the price swing actually played back into this level. I don't think we've had quite the bullish push that we was expecting from this level. So that to me again is something to kind of watch going into, especially Tuesday, where you've got the unemployment data for the Great British Pound as well. We may see prices start to formulate a setup on the Monday. So that's kind of what I'm looking for with the dollar in terms of whether or not we want to push down first. If we want to push down first, I would like to see the pound kind of pull back to higher areas where we could then potentially short from. So that's kind of what I'm concluding with GBPUSD and the dollar, as well as the indices, guys. So those are all the setups I've got. They will be posted in the Discord, of course. And for those that need access to the Discord, please reach out to us on either the social medias or head over to the website as well so you can get access. Okay, we're no longer giving free access to this. That was for a limited time only. We are now back to a subscription-based service. So definitely check that out, guys. Of course, head over to the website. If you've liked this video, please like and subscribe and comment. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to this week. Like I said, there's a lot of fundamental data for us to actually look towards in terms of volatility being added to the markets and capitalize from. So let's see how this week plays out, guys. And remember, every day is money day. Peace.